Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to give you guys a behind the scenes look at a recent production that I had where I utilized a little bit more affordable lighting. And then I'm also going to give you a look at my rate sheet and how I would charge for something like this. Got some new audio gear from Deity. Looking forward to unpacking this and putting it all together. So, I'm not going to lie, this shipping was a little rough. This was just sitting here, and then all this bubble wrap was literally just on top of the units. So I literally just took these out, took this out, and everything was just on the bottom like that. So hopefully nothing is damaged, but that would not be the way I would pack expensive equipment to ship. So yeah, just a PSA. If there's anything damaged, I'll definitely be reaching out to them. So this is what we have going on so far. It's pretty messy. Working on cable management, and this might not be the exact placement of everything. Yeah, so the idea is everything will run off of one battery here. I've seen another company, they have like a sled that you can just pop these in and out, so I might end up putting that here and putting this guy up here or someplace else. So we'll see about that. And then yeah, so far I think this is looking pretty good. The back is super messy, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. So I'm getting prepped for a shoot tomorrow. I'm being hired by a local production company to do fulfillment on a shoot. So they needed a 2-camera and a teleprompter, basic lighting package, basic audio, going straight into camera. So I'm trying to load everything up on one cart. Obviously there's still a few things I'll have to grab once I get there, as far as a couple C-stands, a couple light stands, and sandbags, shot bags, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm trying to make this as easy as possible. I do have 2 cameras in the bottom, a monitor, director's monitor, teleprompter monitor, 2 tripods, a couple light stands, key light, which is the Zhiyun Molus B500. I forgot the name, but it's a good key light. Couple little spotlights, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm trying something new. I have the teleprompter out of the case. This is usually the case that it comes with, and it's such an awkward shape. It does fit on the cart, but it takes up so much room. So I took the components out. I have the glass here that is padded in foam on either side and then strapped down. And then I have some other little components of the teleprompter on here. I just don't want to have to get all this stuff out and then come back and grab that. And it just takes a while to get everything out of that case. Everything goes in a certain way. So it's nice just having it all kind of free floating. So it's easily accessible, and I can make setup and load in a lot easier. Change of plan. Just got the call sheet for tomorrow. It's chaotic. Like 15 interviews throughout like a building. Company move, I think twice or 3 times, where I have to load my van. And I'm just going to do away with all the fancy lighting and just do 2 Astras with a pop-up Chimera. Keep it simple. I'll still have this for a background or hair light. And then I'm also teleprompter screen, tripods, 2 cameras. I might even just ditch the director's monitor. At that point, we have like 30-minute setups and 20-minute teardowns. It's just not feasible to have this much gear. Another curveball, they also want the second camera on a Dana Dolly. So I'm going to put Dana Dolly with wheels, and we're just going to wheel that around built. I might have someone else transport that in their vehicle, so we don't have to break it down. But yeah, this is pretty typical. You know, you have your best plans, and then things just get moved around. And I wish I would have seen the call sheet before I started packing, because that would have given me a better idea. But it is what it is. So I'll see you guys over there. I had to be at location at 6:45. It was about an hour away from my house, so had to be up super early. Drove about an hour, and call time wasn't at till 7 a.m., but first shot was at 7:30. So I wanted to make sure, the car was unloaded. I was parked, ready to go at 7. But unfortunately, as soon as I got there and wheeled my cart about, I don't know, 10-minute walk from the first location to where I parked, they informed me that there was no ramp to get into the building. It was an older university, so I guess they just didn't have wheelchair access into the building. I'm not sure why there would be no ramp. They informed me again that the first location was going to be on the second floor, which, that's fine. But then they told me that the elevator was broken, so we couldn't use the elevator. So this kind of threw, a wrench in my whole entire plan for how we were going to accomplish today. Having everything on the cart, able to just wheel it up and unload and get set up as quickly as possible. That kind of all went out the door. So I tried to keep everything very simple, almost, not getting too fancy with the lighting. I really made the setup very minimal when it came to the lights. Cameras were already built, so it was just a matter of getting everything framed up and shaping the light as much as possible. So that's the one thing I do like about these Astra panels is 3 things really. They're super bright, the color is fairly accurate, and they're affordable. I mean, at the time of this video, you could probably pick up an Astra 6 bicolor for $400 or $500. And in my book, that is affordable lighting, especially if you look into RE Sky panels or, some of the Aperture P300s or 600s or whatever. $500 is pretty affordable for a key light. In relation to cameras, so for example, these FX3s, at the time of this video, they're about $4,000 with tax and media. Obviously you can get one used and it's a little bit cheaper. But yeah, about $4,000, and you need a lens, batteries, whatever, cage. So that could quickly add up to about $5,000 per camera. So in relation to lighting, $500 on a light, $5,000 on a camera, $500 on a light is actually pretty affordable when you think about the grand scheme of things. So I know you can definitely find cheaper lighting. Doesn't have to be these Astras. I just like them because they're really quick to set up. Really portable and very punchy. And to this day, the Chimera pop-up softbox is literally the best diffusion that I've been able to find for these 1x1 panels. They're super easy to set up. They are expensive, so even now on the used market, they're about $350, maybe $300 for the Chimera pop-up softbox. So they are a little pricey, but I think that they're the easiest pop-up softboxes, even compared to some of the Aperture, like even the version 3 Aperture, octa boxes or whatever they're called. They, even though those do pop up in one quick motion, I still think these are just easier in my book to pop up, and then you're ready to go. And the way they connect to the Astras, I feel like it's very secure. I know sometimes the Bowen mounts, even though they've come a long way, I still feel like sometimes I'm not sure if it clicked in or not. So I'm always kind of second guessing whether it's, solid or not. But these pop-up Chimera softboxes are amazing. I need to get another one for my second light, so that way I have 2 in my kit. I think it's more important to shape the light than to worry about what type of light you're using, as long as you can get it looking somewhat soft. And that's another thing I like about these Chimera soft boxes, is they come with 2 layers of diffusion and an inner baffle, and I do have a grid for it as well. So it comes with a ton of accessories that you can ultimately use for the softbox system. And because the lights are very bright and punchy, I was using the inner baffle, the 2 layers of diffusion, and sometimes even the grid, depending on what I, deemed fit for each interview. I know some people were wearing glasses, so the grid helped with the glasses on one of the shots, especially if they're really reflect. And I did have a pop-up scrim, like a flag that we were using. It's just made out of PVC pipe. It's very affordable, very lightweight, easy to pack, and you can add a black flag if you wanted to, but I was just using a diffusion on top of it just to give a 4th layer of diffusion on this Astra, which I think helped make the look a little bit softer. And I was so glad I was able to bring this new light from Zhiyun, the Cinepeer C100. It's an amazing light. It is 100 watts. Just to put into perspective, these Astras are 105 watts, so very similar output, and it's such a small light. It has a built-in battery, which is crazy because the battery lasted all day. Now, granted, I didn't have the light at 100% intensity. Sometimes it was 5, sometimes it was almost 50. So just depending on the location, I was able to dial in the light, the color, intensity, that sort of thing from the app, which made it super easy. And some of these shots really popped because of the Cinepeer. I used it as a kind of a wall highlight, so I was able to splash some color on the wall to really make it pop. And then there was another shot where we were in a lab facility, and our director just kept saying, like, it doesn't look like we're in a lab, like I want it to look like we're in like an actual like science lab. So I thought, okay, in my mind we can add maybe some blue to really sell the look that we're in a laboratory. And I popped it up, and he was over the moon. He thought it was amazing, perfect, exactly what he wanted. So that was super helpful, having that light there, being able to have it color tunable. We could have done another color, but I felt like blue, for whatever reason, just felt more like a lab to me. So that's what we ended up doing, and it worked out perfect. So I wouldn't sleep on these lights. I feel like they're very good for what they are, for what they do. I know Zhiyun sent me this one for review. Even though they aren't telling me what to say, I can say whatever I want about the light. They might not be happy if I say something negative, but that doesn't really matter to me. I would tell you if it wasn't good, or I just, would send it back to them and be like, hey, I'm not going to do a video on this. But in my book, it's a very good light. So at the end of the day, the client was happy, the creative agency was happy, the production team, the production company was happy. Everyone got paid. It's just, another shoot. So even having to put up with, how hectic of a day it was and running around to all these different locations, that's ultimately what they're paying me to do. So, you can have a bad attitude and not want to do it, but at the end of the day, they pay someone to make it happen. And if it wasn't me, they would have paid someone else to make it happen. So that's just kind of what you have to deal with sometimes. Not every shoot is going to be as chaotic. Not every shoot is going to be easy. So you just have to just roll with the punches, and, it is what it is. Move on to the next shoot. Everything worked out pretty good yesterday. I did bring probably more than I needed, but mostly used the 2 Astras. Didn't really use the I used the B500 for one shot, but the most clutch item was this little light from Zhiyun. This thing, super nice. I had it on multiple shots, multiple interviews, probably more than half. I used it in some way. And look at this. I still have half a battery. Now, this was probably the brightest I ever used the light, around 50%. But it just came in clutch, just being able to quickly lay it down. Even the way these barn doors just kind of like support the light, you could get it at an angle if you needed to. And, that was a nice wash, like on a wall or something. You can adjust this barn door if you're getting too much. So like just the usability of it was just super nice. You can even lay it flat. There's no like actual dials, so it's pretty flush to the ground. And then once you connect it to the app, you can tweak the color, do all that stuff, see the battery. So yeah, this came in clutch. Really enjoyed using this light. We'll definitely have to pick up a few more in the future. This is my rate sheet. I would recommend everyone have something similar to this. You might have it on your website. I just like having a PDF. I feel like it's quicker for me to shoot off to people, especially in like emails, and I don't have to worry about, okay, is my website like working, or is there like a plugin that's not working or whatever. I just know like sending a PDF in an email, they're going to get it. It's easy for them just to check. They don't have to go to a website and look for it. So in my experience, just a quick PDF makes sense, and that's what I like to do. But on this first page, I'll just have like my service rates, labor rates, that sort of thing, contact info. I even have like, you can view some of my work on Vimeo, YouTube channel, just miscellaneous information like that you can find on this first page. And obviously this isn't like set in stone. I might cater this to someone different, I might just quickly make some changes. If I know it's someone coming from out of town, they might have a higher budget or a lower budget, I might tweak these a little bit. I use that, as this is just a starting place, a foundation, and then you can, customize it as you need. And it's always good to start from somewhere, so that way, even if you are coming down in rates, they at least know like how much you're coming down or whatever. And this might not work for everyone, but I just find this to work good for me. So this is kind of the first page. Then on my second page, I have, what comes in my 1-ton G&E package. I do include a few lights that are highlighted red. I include some Astras and some aperture tubes. Everything else you have to pay a la carte. And then all the grip stuff, this is what just lives on the van and comes with the $500 van package. Then on the third page here, I have camera rentals, FX cameras and lenses, tripods, anything that someone would be interested in renting, I can have it. Or if they're not looking for camera, they're just looking for grip, they can just ignore this page, but I have it all on here. And then I do have an audio package on here with all the audio equipment I have. And again, this is ever growing and sometimes lessening, so I always tweak this this PDF, but this is just kind of a good starting place. And then I just have some pictures, just to show them a little bit of work that I've done in the past. Just a nice visual. I could probably delete this page, but I just thought, why not? So that's my rate sheet that I send over. And obviously for this shoot that I just did, I work with this agency and production company quite a bit. So for something like this, where I'm coming in, I would probably charge about $12.50, and that's just a flat rate, whatever that entails. As far as, in this case, I needed 2 cameras, a simple audio package, and simple light package. That just kind of worked into the $12.50 day rate. And, it was it was actually a 12-hour day, but you can charge overtime. And I do that all the time. But sometimes I cut people slack, especially if I work with them quite a bit. I might not nitpick every meal penalty or overtime hour. Now, obviously, there is a time for that. And I'm not saying you shouldn't get all the money that's owed to you. I do believe in setting standards and holding people accountable. I'm all for that. And you just kind of have to play it by ear. And that's just my rate, here locally. Obviously, if there is a shoot happening and it's going to be a one-off and someone coming in from New York or whatever, I would probably raise that rate to about 1,500. But for consistent people, I give them a little bit of a discount just because they do give me extra work, and it's pretty reliable, and once or twice a month sort of thing. So I'm okay giving deals that way. And I know lots of people might look at 1250 and think that you're undercharging and you should be charging way more for this kind of production. And I've even heard people say they don't step foot out of their house without making at least $1,500. And honestly, if you can make a lot of money, if you can make a $1,500 day rate, $2,000 day rate, whatever, that's good. That's good for you. I just know for me, making 1,250 a day is a win in my book. And you stack a couple of those up in a month, and that's not bad for just a couple of days worth of work. So I'm okay making 1,250, especially in this role. I don't have to do any post work. I don't really have to do any pre-production work besides packing my equipment. I don't have to talk to the client. I don't have to do anything like that. I just show up. I have a call sheet. I have, what I need to capture in a day, and that's all I have to worry about. I don't edit any of the footage. Sometimes I'll just transfer cards to a hard drive and then send them the hard drive and charge them for the hard drive. Whatever it is, I don't have to worry about it after that day. So for me, it's worth it. But for some people, it might not be worth it. They might need to charge more, and that's okay. Just everyone's a little different. Everyone lives in different locations. You just have to find what works for you, and what gets you work and keeps you staying busy, and whatever. Well, this should be fun. So the person who shipped this off did a great job in packing it. Even though it's in a Pelican case, it came in bubble wrap, and then more bubble wrap, and then a box. So this is why I like buying from actual users, like people who actually own this camera, use the camera, talk to him on the phone, super nice guy. In his listing, it did not include a Pelican case, but he just said, hey, I'm going to throw in a Pelican case to make sure it gets to you safely. So that was like super awesome that he literally just added a Pelican case. He didn't have to. He could have just like bubble wrapped everything and sent it over. But just the fact that he went the extra step to make sure it got to me safely and protected, I think is the reason why I would buy from someone again who just like actually cares. Because I know if I was selling a really expensive camera, I would want to make sure it gets there, perfectly. Sometimes when you just buy things on eBay, or if you buy from Adorama or like a used website, they don't really care as much. But this guy went the extra mile for sure.